And now my life's taken a complete 180 in that context, where I am the one that is serving people lunches, and I'm making about 30 or 40 doing that, which is completely insane to me. So the last job I had, I was earning about 2.1 lakh per month. Even though I've had about 10 to 15 years of experience in the work field at large, I have experienced the fear and uncertainty that comes with being a part of those sort of fields that are there. When I decided to pivot from that to start the supper club, essentially, one of the reasons was that instead of somebody that has done an MBA, has no context of my field profession, take the decision of ensuring that my job might be redundant or my field might be redundant, I took up a job which is giving people an experience that is very personalized, where I can take ownership from start to end in the context of food as well as how they feel in this space. In college, we've all had that version of opening a Maggie stall in the mountains or the hill station, essentially. A supper club is that, but in your own house. With Corritos, what we wanted to do was, we wanted to take chicken curries and popularize them in the context of small plates. So essentially, the supper club was a 50,000 rupee experiment. We spent about 30,000 on the photographer and the design for the supper club, figuring out the initial menus, the curry cards, and so on and so forth. We also spent an additional, I think about 5,000 to 6,000 on crockery and getting the cutlery that we want. Then some parts of it that were decor, like the tablecloth that you might need. So that essentially added up to about 45,000 to 50,000. And this was outside of the reserves that I had for myself. So we've all had chicken curries growing up. Sunday chicken curries have been sort of a source of joy. My mother used to make a really nice Malwani chicken curry. So that in some ways also an inspiration. My grandmother used to make really good fried food overall. After I grew up, I wanted to sort of recreate some of those recipes. I was working in Burma for about 6 months, I think. I was leading their content team at the time. I think there I sort of got introduced to commercial cooking overall. At some point of time, I realized that I enjoy that aspect of it more than I enjoy advertising or more than I enjoy marketing, where I felt like maybe this is something that I can do. And also, if I don't try, I will never know. Because what's the worst that could happen? For a year, I might not have a job. What is the backup to it? I need to figure out my savings for that. When I took the decision, at that point of time, I needed to figure out how much savings I would need to make sure that at least for 6 months, I'll be fine. If I don't generate any income, if I don't make any money, I'll still be okay. So what I did was figure out what is my bare minimum monthly expenditure that is there. So I saved about 60 to 70,000 per month in terms of my bare minimum expenditure. There was about 360 to about 4 lakh that was there in my contingency reserve. Outside of that, also I had reserves of cash that were basically parked in mutual funds, that were parked in debt. I think when you reach a certain point in your life, there is that external worry about if you're matching up to what your age is supposed to be income-wise. I think sometimes you feel like maybe at 30 you should have a crore, and so on and so forth. For me, it was also that, will this ever give me a sense of joy or give me any happiness? And the answer to that was immediately no. Once I had my contingency reserve and I knew that I would be okay in case of a broader issue, a medical issue or anything like that, I took the leap of faith and started working towards this essentially.
The one thing I think Anurag got right was putting away savings before he decided to take this decision, which I think most of us, as we approach our 30s or when we're in our 30s, we are conscious about. We don't take sudden career moves without figuring out what will I do for the next quarter. Financial resilience will allow you to take a break when you want to. Not when you're facing health issues, not when there's other issues going on. It gives you the kind of flexibility to be able to really be your own boss. That being said, I think if he didn't have some sort of assurance about his own skills, about his ability to deliver on quality, I don't think he would have taken this step. And if I had second thoughts about his ability, we have a very honest relationship, I think I would have told him, "Hi, I'm Neerja Devdhar. I'm a journalist. I'm also a college professor. And when it comes to Corritos, I'm the host. I also help Anurag with figuring out the taste of things. So we've come up with a job description called Chief Tasting Officer. I don't think Currytoes has ever been a rash decision, because I remember when Anurag used to come back from work after a long day at Burma, he used to talk with such great passion about watching a commercial kitchen in process at work. And I could see that passion in his eyes, where he didn't just want to be the person behind the camera or writing scripts. He also wanted to be the person who's actually cutting the onions and doing the tadka and, standing in front of the stove himself. So Currytoes, the name contains the concept within itself. It is chicken curries rolled into a burrito. Initially, the delivery arm was supposed to be the sum and substance of this business. But early on, I realized that even though Anurag is known by his friends to be a really great cook, I don't think the rest of Mumbai knows this reality, and we need to tell people that this is what his food tastes like. It was a way to win people's confidence over. And ultimately, the supper club took a life of its own.
The first time we sort of hosted people, everything that could go wrong essentially went wrong, because we didn't have water the entire day. And we had to serve about, I think, 8 people that night in back-to-back services. During the course of that evening, I also burnt my hand really badly right at the start of the first service. So I had to carry on cooking with that sort of burnt hand. But I think over the course of all of this, I realized that there was validity to the concept. There was ability in the context of me actually being able to make this happen. And overall, there was joy.
The ticket pricing for the supper club is something that was debated. It's not something that we arrived at overnight and decided, hey, let's stick to this figure. It signifies a number of things. The first is that we want it to be a compensation for the amount of R&D that we've done. Then there's also the question of compensating the labor that goes into, making the table happen, or the materials that go into the cooking. Those also have to be taken care of. To me, this 2,500 rupee figure is also a great sweet spot when it comes to Mumbai's F&B scene. We want it to be something that enables us to do this more and more, but we don't want it to be a drain on people's pockets. So it is that sweet spot where people are able to afford it, but it is also not something that they will take lightly.
When I started Currytoes, initially, I think the worry was always how many seats are we going to be able to sell. We do 16 seats twice a month, and we used to sort of sell on an average about 13 to 14. That used to be, I think, about 35 or 36,000 rupees from every weekend that we're doing. So at the start, I think we were earning anywhere between about 60 to 70K a month. That has escalated. Last month, we essentially did back-to-back weekends of 18 people, and then a delivery service where we did like 10 deliveries essentially for our delivery box. From a delivery perspective, we basically do 2 burritos as a delivery box altogether. We charge people 700 rupees. That includes delivery costs. We earned about 130 to 140, which for me is a great number, because it also means that I'm getting closer to the salary I used to earn when I left my job. Just a little bit of validation to sort of keep going on.
So we've heard a lot of stories of supper clubs investing greatly in decor. I'm talking renting another apartment aside from the one that they're living in, doing up the aesthetics. Our case is quite different as compared to that, and it's very much a conscious choice. The decor that we did up for this room, the design that we did when we moved into this house, has proven to be such a great backdrop for the supper club. I think we got really lucky in that regard. And I think it's important to focus first on flavor, on customer experience, on everything except aesthetics. The aesthetics happen at their own pace.
Because supper clubs are a novelty, you usually don't have a lot of return customers that come in. So you need to make sure that you have like a newer customer base that keeps building. Fortunately enough, because of my extensive experience in advertising, our socials have been working well, and a lot of our customers now usually come from that. I would say at the start, it would have been like about 60% of people that we knew and 40% that we don't. Now it's almost about 100% people that we don't know are meeting for the first time.
I think one thing Currytoes is very certain about is that we don't want to compromise what we stand for. Will Anurag be always doing the cooking? I think that is true. It is, after all, about the way that he cooks or the way that he has adapted recipes. So if we are to host this at another property, or if we are to host this in collaboration with another restaurant or a cafe, I would still be pretty insistent on the fact that Anurag should be doing the cooking. We are excited to work with Airbnbs, we're excited to work with local restaurants, especially in geographies like Goa, where I feel like there's very adventurous eaters. There's people who are excited about the kind of food that we're doing. We're very excited to do collaborations like that. I would say branded content deals with creators or companies that create the exact kind of ingredients that you want to work with. So I think there are many different ways of collaborating to grow.
Even though I left my job for Carritos, I don't think other people need to leave their jobs for their supper clubs. I think they can do it with their jobs, either as a side hustle or as something that they want to test the waters with. Maybe keep your job for like the first 3 to 6 months and figure it out.
If you do want to turn this into something that's a full-time endeavor, having the savings, having the support system, and having the right skills are absolute non-negotiables. I think without these things, it's really difficult.
If you played video games, essentially, the side quests are usually the most fun ones. And if you can venture out into them and essentially do them full time, there's nothing like it. This whole thing is a lot of fun at the very core of it. And because it is a supper club and because it is in your house, a lot of people are a lot more forgiving than you might think. It's just fun to do it if you enjoy hosting, if you enjoy cooking. So if those are the things that you want to do, it's a worthwhile side quest for sure.